Good morning, class 11. Welcome back to my online class. And today your subject is business studies. So, we will start the chapter number 3. I hope you have done all the work of chapter number 2 and chapter number 1 in your notebook with the given notes. So, we will start the chapter number 3, the public private sector enterprises. So the chapter number 3, private, public and global enterprises. So today we will read the forms of the private sector enterprises. We have already discussed. Now we will discuss the forms of the public and the global enterprises. So first we have to see, we have checked the Indian economy is divided into the two parts. First one is the public sector and private sector. The public sector includes the department undertakings, second statutory corporation, and third governmental undertaking. And the private sector include the sole proprietorship, partnership, joint Hindu family business, cooperative society, company, and the multinational company. We have already discussed with the chapter number 2. Today we will discuss the public sector forms. So first one is your public sector enterprises. Do you know what is the meaning, what is the definition of the public sector enterprises? We will study in this video. Public sector enterprises are the basically are enterprises of the government. The whole power in control of the government. So definition of the public enterprises: public sector enterprises or a public enterprises is one which is owned, managed and controlled by the central government or any state government or any local authority. So it is also known as the public undertaking. And the forms of the organizing public enterprises are departmental undertaking, public corporation and government company. So today we will read the departmental undertaking. Departmental, the forms of the public enterprises is departmental undertaking, second is public corporation, and third is government company. So one by one we will discuss the forms of the public enterprises. First of all we will discuss the departmental undertaking. Departmental undertaking is nothing, it is owned, managed and controlled by the state government. So one by one we will discuss. First one, the departmental undertaking. The departmental undertaking is a public enterprises which is organized, controlled and managed by the government in the same way as any other government department. For an example of the departmental undertaking is railway, post and telegraph, public work department and ordnance factories which is run by the government. So all these are the example of the departmental undertaking. Department undertaking वो enterprise है जो ऑर्गेनाइज, कंट्रोल और मैनेज कौन करता है? गवर्नमेंट करता है या गवर्नमेंट के डिपार्टमेंट लोग करते हैं. तो एग्जाम्पल मैंने आपके साथ डिस्कस किए. सो यू विल रीड नाउ द फीचर्स ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट अंडरटेकिंग. फर्स्ट, फॉर्मेशन. इट इज़ क्रिएटेड बाय द गवर्नमेंट एज आई हैव टोल्ड यू. नो सेपरेट लीगल एंटिटी. It is not a separate legal entity. It cannot sue and cannot be sued without government consent. Clear? Third, management and control. All is power under the ministry of the government. Finance. It is wholly financed by the government out of the budgetary appropriation. Who will provide the finance? The government. No borrowing power. It has no powers to borrow and no authority to use the revenue because its revenue are paid into the treasury. Now the merits of the department undertaking. First one is easy to form, easy financing. We should maintain the secrecy in the departmental undertaking. And last one is accountable to the people because who is who is getting the responsibility of the work, that person is accountable to the particular activity. Now clear? So it's a very easy to form, easy to finance and easy to maintain secrets. Now the demerits of the departmental undertaking is, first one is lack of flexibility. There is lack of flexibility. Flexibility means there is no change. It's run as a rigid nature. And lack of quick decision making, we can't take quick decision because all is controlled under the ministry of the government. Lack of management also, and low efficiency because all the public sector workers having the low efficiency to run their activities. And it is also consideration by the political, guided by the political consideration. So there is a involvement of the political parties also. This one is the biggest demerit of the department undertaking. And last one is the lack of autonomy. Lack of autonomy means the whole procedure is controlled under by the minister of the government. So this one is also the biggest disadvantage for the department undertaking. Now we will discuss the public corporation. So public corporation is an autonomous organization which is established by a special act of the central or state legislature. And this special act defines the power, duties, functions, immunities and the pattern of the management, जिसको हम statutory corporation भी कहते हैं. This one is the second form of the public sector enterprises. And example is like LIC, Indian Airline, Air India, State Bank of India. Now the features of the statutory corporation. First one is the formation. It is created by a special act or by the central or state government. It has separate legal entity, management and control by the board of the director. It is wholly financed by the government, and it has also got the power to borrow the funds from the government, and authority to use the revenue. It has the authority to use its revenue to meet its expenditure, and it also has the powers to prepare its own budget, and it is accountable to the public through the concerned legislature. So it's an accountability. And last one is the public service motive, and its primary motive of the formation is the public service and earning the profit. So main motto of the statutory corporation is the public service and earning the profit. So all these are the features of the statutory corporation. Now we will move on the next slide, the merits of the public corporation. First one is the operational autonomy, and it is flexible also. It work with the service motive. It provide the society as a service motive, and it is easy to raise the funds. And last is accountability. It has the accountability power. Whom is responsible? That person is accountable to their particular activity. So these are the merits of the public corporation. Now we will discuss the demerits of the public corporation. So first one is the demerit is lack of autonomy in the practice. There is a free autonomy, but in a practice there is a lack of the autonomy in the practice. Second is we have discussing the merits of the public corporation. Lack of autonomy, unresponsive towards the consumer, and difficulty charging the act. So all these are the demerits of the public corporation. Clear, students? So we will discuss the government company. A government company is a company which is which at least 51% of the paid up share capital is held by the central government, any state government, partly central government and partly state government. Clear? And the government company includes a company which is a subsidiary of such a company, because the government company is having at least 51% of the paid up share capital. An example of these the government companies: HMT, Hindustan Machine Tools, Maruti Udyog Limited and State Trading Corporation. Now the features of the government companies: it is formed by complying with the provision of the Companies Act 1956, and it has a separate legal entity. It is also managed by the board of director, and all the members of these department are nominated by the government and elected by the shareholder. Clear? Now the fourth point, ownership. So to become a government company, it must have at least 51% of the share capital is held by the central or state government. Staffing and term of service. its employees are not civil servants, they are appointed by the company on its own terms and the condition. And sixth point is finance, it can raise funds from the government or public. And the seventh point is power to use revenue, the government company has the power to use its revenue. Clear? So all these are the features. Now we will continue of these features of the government company. That one is the eighth. So eighth one is your first, operational efficiency, autonomy. So it's run on the commercial principle like private enterprise and enjoy the high degree of freedom from the government interference. It can frame its own rules and regulation to govern in the internal management. So operational autonomy means it run on the commercial principle. And annual reports, its annual reports and accounts along with the audit reports are to be presented to the legislature at the company side. 10th point is appointment of auditors are appointed by the government on the advice of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, and it also has the power to the borrow. Now we will discuss the merits of the government company. It is easy to form. We are simply when we have the 51% shares of holding, we can start the government company. Second one is flexibility of the raising capital. It will raise the funds from the public and the other department, and it also has the operational flexibility. It facilitates the private participation. It also include the private. It the 49% of under the government company are the participation of the public enterprises, and it is also easy to amend the documents. We can There is no such further legal formalities are to be required under the government company, so it is easy to amend the documents. Now the demerits of the government company. First one is the lack of accountability. We cannot find the accountability on the person because there is a lack of the accountability. And second one is the absence of real autonomy, because in a marriage we have discussed this have the operational autonomy, but in a real scenario there is a absence of the real autonomy. And it is also done by the fear of the public accountability. And there is a lack of the professional experience because all the workers and the employees having the low efficiency to operate the activities. And last one is lack of continuity in the policy and management. Clear? So I hope now it's clear to you. So students, we will discuss the next in a part 2 video. So stay blessed at home, take care, goodbye students, and do all the notes in your notebook which I have given to you with the video.